Therefore, the timelessness is not something which you have to look outside, but there is a methodology we have employed wherein within time, timelessness can be appreciated, which has been unfolded already. Now, a drishtanta is, an example is presented. That example is connected to one's own everyday life. Because that consciousness is a witness to all my experiences, irrespective of my 3 stages, which everybody invariably undergoes. That's why Dehinaha asmin dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi anyadeha praptihi api. Therefore, when this conscious entity who is holding this body, when that entity which you call Jiva, for whom the moment this body which the Jiva was carrying to exhaust his karmas, the moment the Jiva decides that this body, mind, sense complex is redundant for me, it is of no use for me, then it drops it. Jiva drops that. Then it travels. So what is his traveling? Jiva travels. What is his traveling? The way you travel. Every day we travel from one place to another. From your kitchen you travel to your bedroom. From your bedroom you travel to your courtyard. From your courtyard again to your backyard. So every day we travel. That means what? You take the body around. You take the body around. When you want to take the body around, the body cannot move around unless the entity makes a movement inside. What is that movement? An intent is that movement. An intent for the entity is that movement inside. Then it gets translated in the form of physical movement outside. Therefore, there should be a resolve. There should be a resolve on the part of the entity. Let me go from here to there. Then body behaves. This body behaves according to the intent of the Jiva who is holding it. So who is calling the shots? Not the body. I am the one who is calling the shots. I am the one who is making decisions what I should do with this body. Whether to take it to meditation hall to elsewhere, I am the one who is the decision maker. So that tool called thought, which is authored by the Jiva, using that tool called thought, which is part of your subtle body, the gross body moves around. When there was an intent on the part of the Jiva, but suddenly, if to support that, if there is no gross body to you, then do you think that intent will fold up and go away? That intent would never vanish in the blue. The Jiva is holding that causal body and it is equally holding the subtle body. Therefore, what it dropped was only the gross body. Therefore, it has to travel. Gross body only you see, but the subtle body you cannot see. So the subtle body and the causal body which Jiva was holding, it has to travel. And when? Till it gains an appropriate body so that it can exhaust all the held up desires. And which is endless. Therefore the travel of the Jiva is endless. That's why Bhagavan has said, Jadasya dhruvo murtihu. Dhruvam janmamritasya tasmad aparihari arthe natvam shojitam arhasi. Arhasi. There, Madhyama Purusha is used. Hey Arjuna, tvam na arhasi iti. Therefore, Jadasya dhruvo murtihu. When something is born, when you are born in a given body, then the body has to go. Because the body is just a mechanism for the Jiva to exhaust its own past karmas and it has to take another janma. Therefore, Jadasya, one who is born means what? One who is taking the body as oneself for him, then death is inevitable. And one who has died inevitably is going to be born again. As they say, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. You will be there in one form or another. Therefore, Bhagavan's statement here is on the Atma standpoint, and he comes down to the standpoint of the Jiva, and he has given a drishtanta that this Jiva is going to be born again. This entity is going to be born again. Going to be born again in the sense that what? Is going to take another Sharira. What Sharira? Gross Sharira is the reference here. Because that's the only Sharira which is visible. Then the question is, the contest here is Arjuna is standing there, and he came in the battlefield to fight. Then when Krishna placed the chariot in front of two armies, then he said, Kaihi maya saha yodhavyam asmin rana samudyame. Idi, to whom should I fight? Therefore, me ratham stabaya. Idi, may you place the chariot in between two armies. So Bhagavan has placed Bhishma Drona Pramukhataha Sarvesham Chamahishidam Uvacha Partha Pachedan Kurun Idi. Therefore, may you see this Kurun, this Kaurava Putras, and he placed his chariot Bhishma Drona Pramukhataha just in front of Bhishma and Drona. Then he said, then suddenly Arjuna was captured by an emotional storm. Then he started Sidanti Mama Gatrani. Therefore, he was stricken by grief. Not local, ordinary sorrow. Great grief. A grief of great magnitude, which can percolate into this subtle body. So, his Gandivam Samsade Hastad. His Gandiva, his bow, dropped from his hand. Then he started making all the arguments. Visrijya Sacharam Chabam Shoga Samviknamanasaka. He made all arguments against not fighting. He was just weighing the pros and cons of the battle. He was confused. Then he started arguing and evaluating the pros and cons of the battle. In the event of a battle, the aftermath of the battle, what are the pros and cons he was evaluating, and he couldn't make a decision. And Visrijya Sacharam Chabam Shoga Samviknamanasaka. He put his arrow and bow on the deck of the chariot, and Asupurna Kulechana. Tears welling up his eyes. He sat there confused. Then Bhagavan started just egging him up. Kutaswa Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupastidam Ityadi. From where this sorrow has come to you, it is unbecoming of an Arya. Nari Dushtam Asurgya Magirtikaram Arjuna Ityadi. There is a lot of presentation there. So it's not an ordinary grief. It's a grief of great magnitude. Then, unto that Arjuna, Bhagavan was saying, you are timeless and there is something in you which is time free and everything. It doesn't go well. Once you are in sorrow, what should you do with that sorrow? That's fine. I am time free, fine. It is not understood. Had it been understood, Gita would have been completed by the 13th verse in the second chapter. So he runs into 18 chapters. That means Arjuna had not understood.